according to the UCC public notice, you also have to get authorization to share a podcast, which is interesting because now since we have YouTube, podcast, and blog, I need to get licenses like 3 times. Hello, my name is Nagaib Johan, and welcome to the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel. So the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is a place where we have free and honest conversations about the law, especially in regards to commercial and cyberspaces. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, please like this video, go back to the homepage, like this YouTube channel, also hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I release new content. And I release new content religiously every week. I release content on anything that is trending, relevant, and break it down for you so that you can understand. Who is this public notice directed to? Allow me to quote if you haven't had the time to read through the notice. And I quote, "All persons currently offering or planning to commence the provision of online data, communication, broadcasting services, including but not limited to blogs, online television, online radios, online newspapers, audio over IP, internet protocol TV, video on demand, digital audio radios and televisions, internet web, radio, internet web, television, and radio should all obtain authorization from UCC before proceeding such services to the public." Do not worry about the technicalities that are being thrown around in a UCC notice. Don't worry. I'm going to explain to you exactly what all of them mean. So what is a blog? To understand what a blog is, I think a history class is long overdue. So let's get right into it. In 1994, a college student called Justin Hall was credited for having founded what we now call as a blog. See, back then, it was just called a simple homepage, nothing fancy, right? But with the constant evolution of the internet and whatnot, various content contributors have had their own personal touch to now what we now know as a blog. Now, in 1997, John Wisdom was coined to have contributed to the terminology blog when he defined it, when he contextualized it as weblog. Now, to him, weblog was just him logging onto his homepage and just journaling, just random content. Now, if you fast track to what we have today, for example, if you follow me or read our content on the Ask Me About the Law blog, we endeavor to release new content every week. So the fact that we release new content, I get up every week I post the content in there, I write. It's kind of like a journal. Nowadays, a blog can be defined as a web page or an online journal where entries are made often and regularly by an individual. What do I mean by this? Case in point is the Ask Me About the Law blog. The Ask Me About the Law blog has new content every week. So the fact that we take time to write the blog on a weekly basis can quantify it as a blog. But in the context of this discussion, even your social media can amount to a blog. The essence is that you post regularly and you share your opinion on that. This is where there's a lot of technicality in regards to very many people commenting and saying that this authorization may amount to violation of freedom of speech, because if you need to first have authorization from UCC to post on your Facebook page, which by the way can also be a blog, on your Facebook page that, you know, this is what you think about A, this is what you think about B, then ideally, if you think about it technically, it is amounting to a violation of your right to freedom of speech or opinion. If you are interested to understand exactly what your freedom of speech and opinion and the parameters surrounding it under the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, I implore you to check out this YouTube channel, because I remember I did a video on freedom of speech. I'm also going to leave it linked in the description box of this video, so I encourage you to check it out. You will find it very resourceful. I also have a blog to this regard, especially in light of Dr. Stella Nyanze's arrest and her case, as well as Kakwenza's arrest. Remember him, the celebrated author. Right. So now we're going to define what is online TV. And now, please allow me to quote, because the wise tech junkies at Techopedia took the initiative to define for us what is internet TV. And I feel that their definition is very authoritative, which would make this discussion very informative. Now, let me quote. They say that they define internet television as the process of broadcasting or delivering televised content to the end user through computer devices or over the internet. So what this means is, provided you're watching TV content and you don't have to watch it using an antenna or a decoder plate or things like that, that can amount to what? Internet television. Let me give an example. All those times you've been watching the news and streaming them, for example, NBS, you've been streaming it on NBS, on their NBS Facebook page or their Twitter page or their YouTube page, or NTV, you've just been streaming them on their social media. Technically, that's internet television. And for all you bougie people who have been watching, instead of watching normal TV like us, Mutua 1C, you watch Netflix or you watch DSTV online. Technically, that is all internet TV. Whether you're watching a football match and you're watching that football match on Super Sport and you're watching Super Sport on a digital device, the element here is that as long as you're using an internet connected device, a phone, a laptop, whatever, that is all internet TV. So now if you are an internet TV provider, according to the UCC public notice, you need to seek authorization. If you've understood the definition of what internet TV is, please like this video so that I know that you've understood the definition. If you have not understood, kindly leave a comment in the description box of this video so that I take time to define properly and you understand what amounts to internet TV. So now we're going to understand what is online radio. Remember, all the categories I am defining here were very specific and very well stated in UCC's notice, and UCC encouraged that all providers of this particular data have to seek authorization from UCC before they can continue to produce any new content. So what is an online radio? Just like online TV, if the end user needs to access that content or can access that content using a smart device. Remember, by smart device, I mean your smartphone, which can access internet, your laptop, your tablet, your iPad, or even if you use your, nowadays we can actually listen to radio online. If you pay attention, DSTV has radio channels that you can listen to if you stream them, but who has that data? Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, if anyone can listen to that content online, then they can access that. So what do I mean by this? Next Radio has an app where you can listen to radio online. I'm also going to leave a link to in the description box of this video of all available online radios in Uganda, so that you can, whether you're abroad or in the country, as long as you have the data anyway, you can live stream and listen to those channels. But the point is, as long as the end user can listen to that radio content without necessarily using a normal radio that maybe uses maybe the radio on their phone or the radio that uses batteries or electricity, but they can listen to the radio online, technically that is an online radio. If you've understood the definition of like this video, so that I know that you've understood the definition. If you haven't, please leave me a comment so that I take time out and make sure that you've understood, because I don't want you to fall on the other side of the law. So what is an online newspaper? Just like I said earlier on, remember, if you are trying to contextualize this, think about online TV, online radio, same online newspaper. Now, if you've been paying attention, I think Observer, New Vision have released apps where you can read some newspaper articles on your smart device. By smart device, I mean your internet-enabled smartphone, laptop, iPad, tablet, even TV. Point is, as long as your digital device can access the internet and you can read the newspaper online, actually I think New Vision has an app now, a website. If you can actually pay, I believe you can pay a fee and then they release the digital content. Instead of reading a hard newspaper, you actually read it online, which I think is pretty cool. But according to new UCC regulations, also online newspapers have to also seek authorization from UCC before they can publish and share their content with us. Interesting. If you've understood what's the definition of an online newspaper, kindly like this video, give me a thumbs up, say hi in the comment section so that I know that you've understood what is an online newspaper. If you haven't, remember, you know the drill. Leave me a comment in the description box of this video so that I take time to explain to you what is an online newspaper. So now we're going to understand what is an audio over IP, which I'm going to define. Audio over IP is just fancy for any audio uncompressed files that are shared on the internet using an IP address. So what I mean by this, case in point, if you have taken time to listen to Ask Me About the Law, podcast, which I'm going to leave linked in the description box of this video. You should definitely check it out because we release content every week and we have very engaging discussions. Now, when I'm uploading and sharing the content via podcast, I upload it online, and if you want to listen to it, you can download it, but you need to have Wi-Fi or data to actually get it. So the entire process is what now would codify and define as an audio over IP. So for purposes of this video, if you are a podcast content producer, this is where you lie. And according to the UCC public notice, you also have to get authorization to share a podcast, which is interesting because now since we have YouTube, podcast, and blog, I need to get licenses like 3 times. Anyway, if you've understood what is the definition of an audio over IP, please like this YouTube video, give me a thumbs up so that I know that you've understood. If not understood, leave a comment so that I take time out of this video to explain to you what is an audio over IP. Now we're going to define audio over IPTV. Now for purposes of this video, I want you to put in mind the definition we maintain for audio over IP to relate the definition to the definition here. Now, because I'm not very tech savvy, let me quote a definition from the very vibrant chaps at Techopedia. So they say IPTV, which is Internet Protocol Television, is defined as secure and reliable delivery of entertainment, videos, live streams, television, media content, and related services over IP data network. Now, whenever you hear IP data network, that's just fancy for internet, right? Now, let me give you examples. For purposes of this video, I want you to think about something called video on demand. Video on demand is where people ask for you to do something as a content creator and then you create it. Now, content creator would be someone like me, right? You, the viewers, always tend to ask me to work on this topic. Like, for example, this particular blog you requested, and now I am responding to your request. So because you asked for me to create this content, it is what we would define as video on demand. So anyone producing content that is video on demand is falls under the criteria of what we call Internet Protocol TV. So technically, under the UCC notice, you have to get a license. If you have interactive TV is where you have content or video filming and people can comment on it. So case in point is live streams. You see live streams where people are having a video interaction. People usually leave comments in the comment section. So that is interactive TV. Now the other fancy interactive TVs where you actually comment, ask questions and all that. And for actually case in point is IGTV also. IGTV also gives you that option where you can comment if it was a live stream. So that falls still under the criteria of what we would define as Internet Protocol TV. So if you release content that falls under this criteria, and this content can be accessed via IP address, and this content you post it using internet, honey, you fall under the criteria provided for of Internet Protocol TV, and you need to get a license. So for content producers who are producing content on their IGTV, who are producing content on their Snapchat, who are producing content on YouTube, people who are producing content videos and sharing them on their Facebook page, their Twitter pages, as long as it's video content, it's interactive, especially if you share it on your live streams, you fall under this criteria and you need to get a license from the UCC, sorry. So now we're going to define what is a video on demand, or VOD. Now video on demand usually works hand in hand with Internet Protocol TV, which I defined earlier on. So video on demand is a dynamic feature offered by Internet Protocol TV, and like I said earlier on, for example, if you look at something like IGTV, now another element on top of you asking the content creator to create the content, then the content creator creates the content in response to your question, suggestion, or feedback. Another element of video on demand is when you, the viewers, have the opportunity or the chance to choose out the content you'd want to watch. It's not like normal TV where the channels the content is very specific, like at 1 p.m. there is news. You really cannot skip that unless you have like a PVR decoder, right? Now for this one, because it's online and you literally have a menu, the viewer has the right to choose. So what do I mean by this? If you go to our YouTube, if you check on our YouTube homepage and you go through the videos, they are very specific, short 20-minute videos. So you choose the video that speaks volumes to you and which video you would want to watch. So that makes the content we produce on YouTube falling under the criteria called video on demand. It also makes the content we produce on our Instagram, also our IGTV, amounting to video on demand, as well as also the content we show on Facebook. So if you fall under this criteria, unfortunately, you also have to get an authorization from UCC. So yes, everyone is catered for in this definition. If you've understood the definition of video on demand, please like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I like really hearing back from you guys, and also leave a comment if you've not understood, so that I can explain in detail. So last but not least, I'm going to explain what is digital audio radio and digital television. Digital audio is DAB and digital television is DTT. So remember when there was that UCC campaign of going digital? Yeah, when we had to switch from, I think, air to air, from what were they called? When we had to switch from analog to digital. Sorry, I'd forgotten. You remember that campaign? So the downside, before that campaign, if you traveled from Kampala and you went to Mbale, Gulu or whatnot, and you were listening to radio while you're driving, you would notice that if you go to a certain part, let me say if you're listening to XFM or Sanyo, like the radio just stopped working, and if you wanted to access Sanyo FM or Capital and you're in Gulu, you had to use you had to find a different frequency which was available for that radio station in Gulu. Same thing would happen if you're traveling from Kampala to Mbara and you're listening to XFM or Capital, whatever. At some point in your journey, the radio would stop functioning, and then when you go to Mbara, you'd have to use a different frequency from the one you're using in Kampala. So when we went digital, right, if you are anywhere in Uganda, the idea of digital is that if you're anywhere in Uganda, you ought to be listening. If the frequency you're using in Kampala is 94.8 XFM in Kampala, that's the same frequency you should be using in Gulu, Paida, whatever, provided they can allow it, the airwaves can allow you to get to a proper signal. But the point is, you'd still maintain the same frequency. The same applies for TV. Provided you are anywhere in Uganda, now that we're digital, as long as you know the number of the station on the TV, you can access it anywhere in the country. Now that's what digital TV means. As long as it has a set frequency it's supposed to air on, that TV is on that frequency. Even if you're using DSTV, Star Times, that TV signal doesn't change. So that is what we call digital TV and digital radio. So if you produce content that falls under this criteria, then you qualify, or you, according to UCC, need to first get a license and authorization, whatever the heck that means, before you can air content. And if you do not have that authorization, by October, UCC says that you are committing illegal acts and you're in violation of the laws of Uganda, and you will be arrested. So if you have endeavored to go through the licensing and authorization process, please leave a comment in the description box of this video. I'd like to learn about your experience, how the entire process has worked out for you. And if you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, please leave them under this YouTube video. I look forward to hearing from you. You are watching the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel, your place where we have free and honest conversations about the law. If you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, please leave them under this YouTube video. I always reply to comments. I really look forward to listening to your feedback. Remember, if you're enjoying this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I release new videos. Also, encourage you to share this video to as many people as possible, because we need to educate and inform each other about the law. You are watching the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel, a place where we have free and honest conversations about the law. And I was your host, Nagawa Jowan. If you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, please leave them under this video in the comment section. I always endeavor to reply to each and every comment. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you have any comment, feedback, please leave them in the comment section of this video. I really look forward to listening from you guys. If you have any questions, inquiries, comment section, or you can also check out our social media handles. The handles that Ask Me About the Law, I'm going to leave them linked in the description box of this video. Kindly check them out. Also, if you'd like to talk to me, I'm going to leave my socials in the description box of this video. Check it out. Until next week, remember to wear your mask and stay safe.